Okay, I'm working indoors, it's dark outside, so I'll describe what I'm going to do, what I'm going to talk about. This is a clean pane of glass, but I'm going to talk about maintenance cleans, which is, I would say, anything up to 5 or 6 months, because once you've cleaned the window, from a dirty window that's not been cleaned ever or for many years, up to about 6 months, or sometimes I've noticed when I do yearly jobs, I only need to make one pass with the squeegee. But when it's, for example, very warm, very dirty glass, you put the solution on, and it's drying out very quickly, mainly because the dirt is soaking up the residue. So when I talk about making one pass and using a squeegee that's much longer, because it gives you the extra reach, because I didn't prime that rubber, we get a jump. So that was a good example of not using a rubber that's been primed. So what I'm trying to get across is on a maintained window that's not too dirty. Obviously it's dirty, it needs cleaning, but it's not too dirty. If it's a nice window to work on, this is a nice window to work on. There's no stabbing, it's nice and smooth at the edges. Everything's going in my favour, so I'm going to use the longest sort of squeegee channel for the coverage to get the job done ASAP. So that's for maintenance cleans. But you see here I've got one corner here not cut. I was just having a little play. So on a new job, the windows are much dirtier, and even if the weather's not that hot, let's say it is hot, you're working harder. It's going to be a harder job to do. So what I would suggest is use a smaller squeegee, because the window is so dirty, and we've got drying glass and it's hot. What I tend to do is soak up the glass, use a smaller squeegee, because I know I'm going to make more turns, and again soak up underneath, so we've got as much lubrication as we can give for this squeegee. It's all about changing and adapting to your working environment. So on a normal standard maintenance clean and it's not hot, I always would say go with the pretty much longest channel you can use, make the minimum amount of movements, get the squeegee and the solution to work for you. If it's a dirty window, if it's the solution is going to dry very quickly, you've got to just throw out that routine, what you're used to doing, adapt and go with what does work. So I wouldn't swap my liquidators for a Sorbo or Wagtail or stainless steel. I still use the most efficient tools, I just have to adapt my working style to the environment. So I just use a smaller squeegee. You're always going to save time using the most efficient tool. You're just not going to go as quickly as you're used to going. So you just have to adapt and keep that wash underneath, catch the drips as well, so you've got less clean up to work on afterwards, and soak underneath. So I always wash, and then when it comes to squeegeeing, I'm controlling also, as well as lubricating the glass underneath. The difference is then using this when you're doing a kind of one motion movement,
you're taking off more water in one go, whereas you're controlling the solution when you're coming down, and you know, if you've got your washer underneath, you're going to be capturing the solution as well. So, as I said, there's no right or wrong way. There are just better ways than other ways, and when it comes to adapting, working environment, how dirty the glass is, how hot it is, but what do I always keep? What do I always stick to? I never change my working setup. I always have the soap added to the glass or the washer. That is always constant. So unless I lived in a desert and I encountered those working conditions, which I don't, and I never will, and if I did live in such a climate, I probably wouldn't be a window cleaner. I just don't like being out in the sun as it is. So anything hot and humid, I don't want to be working outside. So I haven't got an answer for everything or for everybody, but I've got an answer for changing to your and adapting to your working environment. So last time, let's just show you what I do. I will do it like this and lubricate underneath, capture all the residue as much as you can. Just go with a smaller squeegee. One pass, it might not be enough. Well, hopefully this helps. There's no one rule for everything. It's all about adapting. The only thing that does stay constant for me is the working setup. That's always been constant for 8 years. Before I even knew about precision squeegees, I started with stuff in the soap in the bucket, and I just couldn't get the fan in. I could just leave the lines all over the place, and eventually I found out about getting that lubrication for the rubber, and I wasn't using very good brand rubbers either, so there was probably friction there. I went on to better rubbers and I got better performance, but that's how I got into knowing about the soap application, and I've never ever gone nowhere else. It's always been that way for me, and I think it was the best. It's the best tip I can give anybody.